Hello everyone, I would like to welcome you to STAROT. This is where the sacred science of astrology meets the ancient esoteric wisdom of the tarot. And in this space we will look together at the current planetary transits as they are happening in the heavens above. And we will weave together spiritual teachings of Anthroposophy, Esoteric Christianity, and the Eightfold Path of the Buddha. So if that speaks to your soul, then you are in the right place. All right, so today I'm sharing with you two key tarot cards to accompany this 10-day forecast, and each card acts as a spiritual lens. And this is really going to help to give a symbol that you can work with to really drive home the forecast and begin to work with it on a deeper level. Aries is inviting us into bold new beginnings, and we'll explore with Aries the Fool. And also with the Chariot, we look at the card of Mars. And this will be the driving force and willpower that is behind the Chariot. And together these two cards will be guiding us to give us a richer meaning over the next 10 days ahead. Now, I want to give you a little context about the tarot associations in which I use. They come from Robert Powell, whose teachings are grounded in ancient Hermeticism. And I choose his esoteric perspectives intentionally because I feel that it offers something that we will not find in mainstream tarot or astrology. His associations, I believe that they carry something essential for our spiritual evolution. So the symbol for Aries, we're going to dive right in here, is the Fool. And this is a magical creative being. I'm going to see if I can show you this. He is on a pilgrimage, right? He's wearing bells, and this makes music along the way. He has released all of his possessions, and that blue dog there at his side, that represents the animal nature of man, which is spiritualized and transformed. So I want you to sit with that image for a moment. What has the Fool left behind, and what is he moving toward? I invite you to contemplate the Fool within you. The Fool's journey requires a daily practice of withdrawal from the world. In Rudolf Steiner, he says it as such. The thoughts around us can attack and affect our consciousness, and we must become free from everyday distractions and life just for a brief moment. Clear our minds and our hearts for spirit. If you strive to do this regularly and persistently, it will give you the inner strength that is needed to face whatever challenges that may arise throughout your day. And it helps you to build up those inner forces so then you can go about your daily life from a stable ground of peace. All right. So the first decan of Aries in the Eightfold Path of the Buddha, it represents right speech. The first 10 days, the sun is moving 1 degree per day through the first 10 degrees of Aries. This is marking the journey of the very beginning of the sun through the Zodiac. And here, Aries, as the first Zodiac, is poised to lead all 11 of the other archetypes, right? It's that burst of energy. It is such a creative impulse of vitality and new beginnings. And in the sky at the first degrees of Aries is the girdle of Andromeda. And to gird oneself, this means to gather one's garments and prepare for work by strengthening ourselves with virtue and committing ourselves to inner excellence. And also woven within those first 10 days, one of the Buddha's most profound teachings, right speech. Our words can cause harm or they can create healing. And at this potent fiery window, we are being called to be deeply mindful with how we express ourselves, because our words are a powerful force of creation in the universe. So Mars in the Chariot. This brings us to the next great card. This is representing our physical vehicle. I hope you can see this here. And this is Mars' domain. And if you look closely, though, he is holding no reins. His crown, however, is being led by the divine cosmos. He's not steering with ego or brute force. He's being guided by something higher. And the two blue horses there, that represents the animal forces spiritualized, just like the Fool's blue dog. And those two faces that he wears upon his shoulders, They symbolize many things: the past and the future, the external, the internal, the feminine and masculine. We want to bring balance to those within, right? And the horses are facing to the left, which is telling us about the direction that we are being asked to travel. The left is our intuition. So with the Fool's Pilgrimage and the Chariot's forward motion, let's go into our hearts and dive into this forecast. On Wednesday, April 15th, we have the radiant sun, which governs our heart chakra. It is united with Chiron, the wounded healer, and the spiritual hierarchies of the sun and Mars are working together here. They are inspiring us in the will to rise above difficulty and find a joy in living, even through suffering, because the potency of our wounds, when we face them with courage, it can become the greatest source of wisdom and healing. The moon is also moving through Pisces, and she's offering us a beautiful invitation to tap into the deepest aspects of your emotional self. And the Pisces stellium we've got going on, it's quite crowded. It is all of the so many planets. It's like the winged messenger of Mercury, the vital force of Mars. We have the cosmic memory holder Saturn, and the magnetic oceanic depth of Neptune. Now it's like a big soul family gathering there happening in this sign of Pisces. So the question to sit with is this: will it be a Neptunian time of inspiration and spiritual development? Or will it be a time of illusion, delusion, and deception? Will your inner Mars give you the strength and the courage to speak your truth? Or will it be impulsive and reactive? Will your inner strength with Saturn help guide you with inner strength? Or will it tip you into rigidity and depression? All of these potentials exist within us, folks. This is the art of self-knowledge. We have to begin observing our inner cosmos, how the ancestors once viewed the starry skies above. Now we have the starry skies are going on within, and that is reflected in how we respond between these two polarities of what these archetypes can bring all of the planets that I have just mentioned, okay? So moving on to Thursday, the 16th, we have the moon in Pisces conjunct Saturn and Chiron and squares Jupiter in Gemini. So right here we have the moon governing the root chakra, Saturn the crown, and Jupiter the third eye. All of these are being activated together, right? And that's a powerful combination. So the shadow side of this can show up as emotional difficulties that grow out of proportion, creating friction in our relationships. We might find ourselves overreacting before we can even realize what is happening. Moving on to Friday, we have the new moon in Aries on April 17th. And so this is a big one because the sun and the moon are merging to create this new moon cycle at 3 degrees of Aries. And this is the perfect moment for setting new intentions. The glyph of Aries, the ram horns. This is a symbol of creative force, right? And it's the birth of awakening the I am, the birth of the individual through the fiery force of Aries. And the sun is exalted in Aries. And so with the new moon here, we are marrying our personal will with our higher will. And remember, the moon governs the root chakra. So be sure to ground those new moon intentions with the feelings of the sun, the beautiful sun. Bring it into your heart and into Mother Earth. And let this new moon begin with your higher self as governor. Now, there is also happening a square from the new moon with these Plutonian forces of deep transformation, which can sometimes show up as confrontation with fear or power. So I would invite you to meet this with awareness. And on a lighter side, Venus is also sextiling Jupiter. So let this be a time of joy and generosity and a warm heart overflowing with gratitude. Both invitations are available, always with working on the inner astrology. We're always talking about the full spectrum and the polarities here that are pulling us back and forth. But we get to choose, and we want to always choose to balance these forces and to just be in our heart space. Okay, everyone. So on Saturday, we will be remaining in that new moon window, and all of those Aries ignition energies from Friday are still be with us. And then we move into Sunday, April 19th. And now this is one of the most intensely configured days of the entire period. So let's walk through it carefully. We have Mars, the great energizer of the Zodiac, joining Saturn. And this is the great disciplinarian. So this is where fire is meeting form. At its highest potential, this can be a masterful, focused on purpose kind of energy. The kind that actually gets things done. We want to do it with intention, right? But at its shadow, we can see frustration, harshness, and the collision of impulsive action with strong limitations. So be aware of that too. The moon will be joining Venus on this day at 29 degrees of Aries. This is the critical point of completion before both move into Taurus. And they're going to conjunct Uranus at 4 degrees. So this can bring themes of love and beauty and personal values that are suddenly liberated or disrupted by Uranus with this lightning bolt energy that's going to be happening here. And also Pluto, everyone. Pluto is being aspected by almost every planet in the sky. Pluto's powerful depths may be felt from every direction there, right? Remember, Pluto's highest potential, it reveals intuition and the will to serve and genuine transformation. So today especially, stay rooted in your highest intention. The pendulum can swing in all directions on a day like this. Moving into Monday, April 20th, our radiant evening star, Venus, steps into earthly Taurus, which is one of her home signs, so she feels quite comfy here. It's a beautiful expression, and because it has matters of both the heart and the hearth, okay? And so this is the most grounded, sensual, earthy sign. It's welcoming us home. All right, we also have Uranus. It continues its trine with Pluto, the awakener and the transformer together in conversation. And what this means is that the spiritual reality behind the material world is becoming more perceptible. Flashes of higher imagination, sudden insight into what truly holds value. These are available to those that are walking the path of the Fool. So keep your eyes and your hearts open. On Tuesday, April 21st, we're going to have Mars, the activator, into a meeting with Mercury, the winged messenger. The mind is sharp today. At the highest vibration, this energy becomes courageous, virtuous communication. Bold, clear, and true. But in the shadows, harsh words and impulsive speech can trip us up. Remember, this is still the first decan of Aries, and this is the realm of right speech. So just remember, open your heart before you open your mouth today, before you speak. Just breathe and let it pass through you, through your higher self first. Okay, on Wednesday, April 22nd, we have the moon. It's going to be moving through Gemini, and this is a light, curious, sociable energy, folks. And she's approaching Jupiter. That's going to give us a lovely window of expansive feeling, optimism, and a social warmth. So I want you to enjoy that. However, Jupiter is simultaneously squaring that Pisces stellium, right? So we will have this tension between expansion and dissolution, between the broad view and the murky waters. So here we have this boundless opportunity of going toward the bigger view or the murky waters. It's big, right? It's always about the polarities. So we want to watch out for our emotions, that they could become overinflated. And then you will be creating more drama than is what the situation actually calls for. That could be going on when you got Jupiter there. All right, so finally we arrive on Thursday, and the moon will be moving into Cancer, and this is her sweet home spot. And she feels deeply nourished here and profoundly attuned to the soul's inner life. But today those personal reflective waters are being agitated by the soul's inner reflectiveness, because we've got it in a polarity with Pluto. That's what's agitating and stirring it up there, those subterranean forces. And what that can cause is like just old emotional patterns around control, vulnerability, and safety. And they may surface with some intensity with Pluto. So be gentle with yourself and use this time to get clear about your personal power and your emotional needs. All right. This is the moment that has been quietly building all week. Venus, the radiant inner beautiful in her home sign of Taurus, is meeting the awakener, Uranus. Look out, because the question hanging in the air is, will Uranus trade the electric glow of the lower material world for something far more genuine and authentic with Venus? Taurus is asking us to ground all of that dirty energy, that dirty electricity that we absorb on a daily basis. So everybody, set aside your devices today. Go outside, put your bare feet on the ground, and seek the healing nature of Mother Earth. And just look around and see what's going on around you in nature. She is speaking to you always. And so to close out the week, everybody, we have the sun squaring the moon. That is giving us our first quarter moon. And there may be a challenge here between the higher self, which is illuminating the path forward, and then what the emotional side, the emotional body, could be clinging to for comfort and security. This is the classic tension of spiritual growth. The soul is asking us to expand beyond the comfort zone with the brilliant light of the sun lighting everything, the freedom of the fool, and the strength of the chariot moving us forward. So closing, my dear friends, thank you so much. This concludes our first part of the Fool's Sacred Pilgrimage through the first decan of Aries with Mars and the Chariot. So let those new moon intentions on Friday with your highest virtues in mind and water them with right speech. This is a new beginning, so plant beautiful imaginations. Your inner fool on this pilgrimage is your life. Feel it deeply in the fertile soils of your soul. Release what no longer serves you. And join me in 10 days, everybody, to continue this journey of aligning with your inner cosmos. As above, so below. God bless and much love. Bye-bye.